is characterized by aggressive behavior resulting from power imbalance. This unwanted demonstration of inhumanity often causes psychological, physical, emotional, or lifelong injuries. As a global phenomenon, bullying and other violent behaviors among learners in the school system is now a major cause for concern in Nigerian schools. How can we prevent bullying and violence in schools, especially with recent sad events leading to the death of 12-year-old Sylvester Oromoni in Lagos School and attempted slaughter of 11-year-old Jibril Sadi Matu in a Maiduguri educational institution? Taking into consideration the traumatic events of more than a decade of violent insurgency in the Northeast, how can we domesticate enabling laws, sanctions, and punishment to check violence in schools? This is our focus this afternoon on Panorama. I am your uncle, Abubakar Musa. President Muhammadu Buhari has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to providing social safety nets for the poor and most vulnerable in the society. This was while officially presenting the country review report to the 31st African Peer Review Forum of the African Union held virtually in Addis Ababa. The president said the country will also leverage the huge opportunities offered by the information and communication technology towards enhancing socio-economic development. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
As a committed member of the African Peer Review family, Nigeria is one of the few countries that so far presented its second peer review report. A product of a far-reaching exercise, the report touched on various segments of Nigeria's political economy and highlighted the progress recorded since the first peer review, as well as some challenges.
And as a country, we are prepared to review those challenges in the context of internal dynamics in Nigeria, ultimately with the determination of achieving Agenda 2063 goals of the African Union.
Consequently, strategic focus will be maintained on building a thriving and sustainable economy, enhancing social inclusion and alleviating poverty, enlarging agricultural output for food security and sufficiency, as well as attaining energy sufficiency in power and petroleum products. The president added that transport and other infrastructural development, business growth, entrepreneurship, as well as industrialization will be expanded, while also enhancing access to quality education, affordable healthcare, social cohesion, and security.
Nigeria remains resolutely committed to achieving these set goals, despite the challenges that the report highlighted, including coronavirus pandemic. I call on other member states to join us and present themselves for review as well. There are so many lessons that we can all learn together. It is from learning these lessons and recommitting ourselves as a continent that we all can contribute to our collective efforts to achieve the objective of the Africa we want.
Apart from Nigeria, other countries that demonstrated boldness and courage to present themselves for this comprehensive review exercise were Namibia and South Africa. Nigeria in particular acceded to the mechanisms of the African Peer Review in 2003. From Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Thank you, Adamu. Following a request by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ali Pantami, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the establishment of the Nigeria Data Protection Bureau, NDPB. A statement from the ministry indicates that the Bureau, which has been established in line with global best practice, will be responsible for consolidating the gains of the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation, NDPR, and supporting the process for the development of a primary legislation for data protection and privacy in Nigeria. Meanwhile, President Buhari has also approved the recommendation of the minister Dr. Vincent Olatunji to serve as the National Commissioner and Chief Executive Officer of the Bureau. The statement notes that Dr. Olatunji, who hails from Ekiti State, was the Director, Government Development and Regulations Department at NITDA. The appointment takes immediate effect, the statement added. Away from that now, Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi has directed the contractors for the Kano-Kaduna Rail Project to break the construction work into gangs for easy and timely completion before May 2023. He gave this directive at the monthly inspection in Kano State. Onyinaya Kalu Oka reports.
It is a busy site with more equipment rolled out in compliance with the Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi's directive in order to prevent the delay witnessed during the construction of the Lagos to Ibadan rail line project. At the Dawa King Kudu construction site, there are more than 2,000 heavy equipment working daily to meet up with the deadline. The minister urged the contractors to break the work into phases for timely completion.
Break this into different gangs so that everybody is working at the same time, living at the same time. If they do that, then I'm sure that before May 2023, we will have commercial activities on the track.
He acknowledged the challenge of funding.
So the Chinese are not funding the way they used to fund us. Now, up to now, we're yet to conclude the loan on this project. So we're funding this project from the budget. However, we're putting pressure on all the necessary institutions that need to give us loan. Hopefully, that before May, we should be able to get enough money to complete this project. But currently, we'll fund it through the budget. We'll approach Minister of Finance again to fund us within this period, between now and May, hoping that by May, we should be able to get the loan.
The 204-kilometer Kano to Kaduna standard gauge rail line, when completed, is projected to be one of the most economically viable tracks in the country, conveying both passengers and cargoes. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
While the Safe School Initiative seeks protection for learners from external sources, bullying and violent behavior is a danger from within, mostly perpetrated by seniors against younger students. In a world where technology provides access to material on violence-growing cases of gangsterism, cult, drug addiction, and other social vices that arrive, preventing bullying becomes a necessity. How can we check hostile intent among learners, aggression, and smuggling of dangerous weapons in schools for a safe and conducive space for teaching? With me to discuss this current and burning issue is the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Borno State, Engineer Lawan Abba Wakilbi. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you join us on Panorama this afternoon.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is all mine.
Okay, to start with, Honorable Commissioner, why are we experiencing increasing level of bullying and physical aggression by students within the school system from a general point of view?
First of all, we have the insurgency. Prior to our 12-year-long insurgency, atrocities like slitting the human throat is unheard of. Insurgents now commonly, publicly slit the throat of fellow human beings. And what do they do after that? They now post it online. So our second problem is uncensored social media. Children could have access to such sites and watch such atrocities committed. And the moment they keep on seeing things like this, it sticks into their mind. We now have problems of increasing mental health issues as a result of drug addiction. The major social vices in schools these days is drug addiction. So, coupled with examples from insurgents, uncensored media, by the time they go high, ideas like this could easily stick in their minds. Then the kind of violent video games that we bring into our households these days is also a thing of concern. If you look at the kind of video games these children play, they are mostly violent. You see virtual wars, virtual martial art techniques where you slit throats. You see all manner of atrocities committed, and these children play them in 3 dimensions. So all this will culminate and lead to increase in violence and bullying within the school system.
This is unfortunate and uncalled for, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, how did the Borno State government respond to the recent bullying and violent attack in one of the secondary schools in the state capital?
First of all, there was a ministerial ad hoc committee that quickly found out what happened, which culminated to our writing a report to His Excellency the Governor, who immediately directed the setting up of a high-powered government committee to be led by the Solicitor General and the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, who are to complete their assignments and report back to government on the causes and remedy of these issues.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, what are the lessons learned from the incident, especially the need for proactive measures to check cultism, gangsterism, and infiltration of dangerous weapons?
You see, first of all, do not underestimate atrocities that could be committed by children. When you look at these children, you would never assume that they are capable of committing such things. Then do not underestimate the power of social media also, because the way this thing went viral and the attention it brought is also very, very serious. Then it's always good that one does not suppress any form of persecution. When persecutions occur, you instantly seek for justice. Then it's always good to also report to the relevant authorities as soon as problems like this occur in school system. These are the lessons learned.
Okay, Honorable Commissioner, what message do you have for stakeholders in the school system on safety and prevention of bullying?
There's a need for every stakeholder to be proactive. People need to watch out for any kind of negative behavior of a child as a result of problems and social consequences. And then the schools nowadays do not only need to have the compulsory guidance counselor that is supposed to be there, but there's a need to also involve child psychologists to look at problems associated with children that are exhibiting bad forms of behavior. Then there's a need on the part of parents to report to school authorities and other authorities any form of bad behavior or any form of bad character exhibited by a child rather than hiding it. Then the society needs to be more proactive in monitoring behavior of children. When we were growing up, you cannot just misbehave and you allow the society to just look at you like that. An elder in the society would punish you people instantly for any wrong done. But nowadays, when you look at our modern society, nobody cares, provided it doesn't affect you. Nobody looks at it, and that has led to a lot of moral decay, which has graduated to this manner of violence in schools.
All right, at this juncture, I'd like to say a very big thank you to the Borno State Commissioner for Education, Engineer Lawan Abba Wakilbe, for being part of Panorama this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you once again.
Thank you.
Let's take a break now. Panorama continues shortly.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Have you back on Panorama. Let's move on now. In its continued efforts at improving the efficiency of officers and men of the Nigerian Navy in curbing the activities of pirates on the creeks of the Niger Delta, The Naval High Command is focusing its attention towards utilizing to the maximum capabilities of its personnel to better achieve sustainable results in security operations. The recent change of positions embarked upon by the Navy High Command for very senior officers has seen Rear Admiral Muyiwa Olotu taking over as the Flag Officer Logistics Command, Ogara, Delta State, from Rear Admiral Samaila Lassa, who spent 21 months in the position. The new Flag Officer of the command, Rear Admiral Olotu, says he is assuming duty with utmost confidence in the ability of personnel of the command to protect public assets and people and the environment against sea piracy and other maritime crimes.
Meaning with sophisticated systems. We've also produced over 100 platforms that are going to be distributed to the Nigerian Navy fleet. But it tells you that there's going to be a lot of activities and a lot of demand of you.
This command is, by its function, is not a fighting command. By its function, is not an operational command. So for us that we're not a fighting force, we shall be engaging with the community around us, at least within our immediate vicinity, to ensure that the youths are gainfully engaged.
Nigerian Army Department of Civil Military Affairs, in collaboration with British Defense Section West Africa, has organized a sensitization workshop on gender mainstreaming for enhanced professionalism in the Nigerian Army. Military and paramilitary personnel in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, participated in the maiden training, which took place in the heart of the Theatre Command, Operation Hadinkai. Memuna Garba now reports.
The sensitization workshop was organized to create awareness amongst armed forces and other security personnel on the need to understand the role of men and women participating in various military activities and operations, considering the importance of gender equality in the discharge of their responsibilities. It was also in consideration of increased engagement of the Nigerian Army in internal security operations and in response to challenges arising from sustained interaction of troops with local populations. Hence, the Nigerian Army moved to educate its personnel on observance of human rights, particularly the protection of vulnerable populations and strict adherence to rules of engagement. To this end, the military has adopted the gender policy to enable it compete favorably with its counterpart across the globe.
The policy will therefore create an enabling environment to address the widespread gender disparity in the military, regarded as a profession that is exclusively reserved for men.
We continue to sensitize troops and carry out and conduct these workshops to enhance their understanding and improve their conduct in operations.
For better understanding of the issue by the participants, Major Janet Osangbi dwelled extensively on the Nigerian Army policy on prevention and response to sexual exploitation and abuse, as well as the United Nations Security Council resolutions on women, peace and security, stressing that the Nigerian Army has zero tolerance to sexual exploitation and abuse. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
As part of post-insurgency recovery efforts, Borno State government has distributed 500 tricycles and over 100 saloon cars and buses to over 20 associations. The 1041-seater buses were given to the state-owned Transport Corporation with the distribution exercise flagged off by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Mohammed Goni completes the story.
Procurement and distribution of the 500 tricycles, 100 Toyota saloon cars, and 10 41-seater buses was in fulfillment of a pledge made by Governor Zulum to address transportation challenges being experienced in Maiduguri, the state capital, and to empower beneficiaries. Under the scheme, each of the 500 tricycles was given to 4 riders, while 100 saloon cars were distributed to 200 beneficiaries, with 50% waivers for all who paid within the stipulated period. Some of the beneficiaries expressed joy over the intervention by the state government and pledged to ensure maintenance culture and prompt payment.
To yau fa an samu shugaban da ran namu ya samu gurin zama abincin da zamu ci kuma yana gina mana jiki sannan har an dauki abun 1.2 sama da mutum 1000 za su amfana da shi.
Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, who stated commitment to empower the citizenry, especially the teeming unemployed youth, also announced that 1,000 other members of the 20 associations who have not benefited from the scheme will have 50 million naira, urging the beneficiaries to ensure maintenance culture and prompt payment, warning that the vehicles should only be operated within Maiduguri and Jere local government areas. Commissioner for Transport Abubakar Tijani thanked the governor for immediate response to the transportation challenges being experienced in the state capital and the establishment of the State Transportation Management Agency to bring sanity on the highways, which has since commenced operation. Yusuf Hayatuddin highlighted the security system built on the tricycle and cars, adding that data of the beneficiaries have been captured to avoid multiple benefits. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
And sports is next on Panorama. Here is Enejo Adiku with more on that.